Brother Rami, so what brings you here?
I want to change, and I heard you can help me.
Speak the straightforward word, brother.
In Fleabag's second season, we got the hot priest, and Rami's second season, we get the hot chick in the form of Mahershala. And it's amazing. He's wonderful. I wanted to ask about how this came to be, because I've heard that he kind of reached out to you, Rami.
He just reached out kind of on like the energy of, hey man, it's so cool to see a practicing Muslim. Me too. and really, like, we just connected on that. And it was just very much like, we should be friends, and, let me know if you need anything. And then so we just started hanging out, and then I was like, hey, so about that, like, let me know if you need anything part. You want to come do an episode or two? And it kind of grew from like him saying, cool, I'll do 2. And then it kind of very quickly became like, the whole season, basically. We want to be able to have a religious figure on TV that feels like a real human, and isn't necessarily like sitting in hypocrisy of like, most of the time we see someone, it's like, he's a priest, but he also did it, and there's kind of like all these vices that they also, it's like, this guy is actually like someone who's practicing the faith in a really strong and relatable way. And to be able to create that without it feeling cheesy or like a caricature was really exciting for us.
And the way he bounces off everyone, I mean, I think it's a couple episodes in when Dina first sees him, is this kind of this funny moment where she's all of a sudden very invested in talking to him too.
Yeah, I mean, May was pushing really hard for her and Mahershala storyline.
Rami embarrassed me so many times on set though.
Oh,
like there was one time where like he came to me and was like, can you like chill with the flirting? Because like he's like, you wouldn't do that in real life. I didn't even notice like how much I was doing it.
Sheikha's really hot.
For how we want to design these characters, it's always like, we love, focusing on the personal thing they're going through, and then kind of everyone around them starts to feel like a bit of an opposition, or at least they have their own opinion on how things should be, which is kind of like how real life feels in many ways. Like, I think like, when you have your problem, everyone's kind of just like, in the periphery. They're like you being in your own head. And I think, something we were really excited to craft with Dina is seeing her, seeing her point of view on faith. Rami's really devout. Dina is like really, she thinks it's superstition. She wants to go to school. She's like much more educated than Rami. She's much more responsible than Rami. She has a car. And then she kind of like, in trying to pursue those things, gets kind of, roped into faith, but almost like on like this like superstitious level, which is based on conversations that I had with May.
Number one, it's really amazing that that I'm working with someone who we could even discuss these things with. And like Rami was so generous with like, I'm curious about it all with my experience, but also my experience mirrors so many people that I know and like don't even know. And yeah, it's funny how it ends up trickling in through like really weird ways for everyone. And I really vibed with how, I've experienced it the way it happened with Dina. But I remember I only told Rami, like, we spoke about one thing, and then you created this whole story, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is so real. Like, this has so happened.
This is not just an acting job. I feel like there's so much of you in this character, and this has become this opportunity to share so much of yourself.
There were some difficult parts, because there were parts of me that were like, no, I just want to show like this good side of me, or what I think is like a good side of me. And when Rami came up with some ideas, it really scared me. But then I realized that's kind of what Rami does throughout the whole season, is that he shares that part of him. I never even thought that that's what acting could be like, but you realize like, whoa, like this is what transforming with it really is. And I don't know if everyone experiences this, but it's really great. I mean, everyone out there should try that. Put out something that you like, would never want to show the world, and you'll see like what comes back. It's great.
I feel like I have this hole that I've been trying to fill.
Are you praying 5 times a day?
He's jerking off 5 times a day.
At the beginning of working on this season, did you go into it with specific themes in mind, or is that something that kind of comes about as you're writing the story?
I went into the big season with an emotional action that I really wanted to be clear for my character, which is, I think that in season 1, he's really trying to find himself. It's very like aspirational. And I really wanted season 2 to be transformational. Like I really wanted to see him have to try and change. I wanted to like really zone in on his problems, because he does a lot of stuff that's pretty messed up in season 1, but it's all kind of under the guise of hope and you know, this like journey and like and it ends in Egypt and I kind of felt like, okay, you know, that is how you feel when you're like on a quest of like trying to figure out who you are, and then there's always a crash. And like I have like a lot of stuff that I need to work through, and so I knew that season 2 we needed to really like dig into the problems. We wanted to give like a little bit more of a through line for Ramy to so that we could have more tangible stuff around him trying to you know, adhere to his faith.
Payam Abbas gets another great showcase. And one, I wondered, are you guys watching Succession? On that show, she's holding so much back, but here it's everything, you know, heart on her sleeve. She can't help but just share her full self.
She's just like unapologetically like herself. And she just like, she walks in and it just like, everyone's like, oh, Hyun's here. She's great.
Yeah, I've never seen someone with like so much star power, but it's also like lovable. Like it's like she should be a diva, but she's not. Like it's just like definitively like on paper you're like, is she? But then you meet her and you're like, no, this is actually just the most amazing energy I've ever been around. She really is like, she's a force, and to get to kind of like let her, you know, embody that character. We saw obviously in season 1 a portrait kind of her loneliness, and I think like we really wanted to step into a different emotion for her, and again like see what are the things that she wants, you know, her quest, in the same way that we tap into Dina's. My goal always with the show, and I really feel, you know, I feel like we've been able to do it, is making sure like every character, it's like, oh, only this person can play that person. Like I can't imagine anyone else playing Dina. I can't imagine anyone else playing Mesa. And that's the stuff that really excites me, where it just feels like, oh, we're doing something around how good this person is with what they naturally do.
You do nothing at a startup that does nothing. They are starting up.
The first season was so beloved and got a lot of great critical feedback, but have either of you heard from any fans that what they said about the show and how it felt, what it meant to them? Did it move you in any way?
I mean, the reason I stayed on social media is because of the messages that I got from women all over the world connecting to the character and feeling represented and sharing their stories with me. And even just like leaving my hair curly was huge. I mean, that's what it is, right? When you see someone you feel represented by, you're suddenly like accepting yourself. And that's like the biggest takeaway for me from Dina's perspective. Obviously for the whole show, like I've heard things that make me so proud to be part of it.
Overall, like so much of the feedback is really amazing to see who it connects with and the people you don't think it would. You know, when someone's just like, dude, this reminds me of Jamaicans, or like, dude, this reminds me of being Jewish. This reminds me of like, you know, people, I think when something's like, you know, when you zone in on a really kind of specific feeling, it almost becomes algebraic, where it's like, it's so specific that you can kind of actually swap out and be like, well, oh, okay, like this was so zoned in that like, it actually now reminds me of being Greek, or it actually now reminds me of being Armenian or whatever. And people can kind of swap their own specifics. And so that's something that was really unexpected that I didn't think was going to happen.
I want to know who I am. I want to explore.
They don't want a man like me anymore. They want a man like you. He's a little bit like a woman, but is still officially a man.